Knowing what to bring with you is a vitally important part of planning your adventure when you're going out walking in southern Scotland. When you see me in these videos, I'll almost always have this rucksack with me, and although that's partly because it's full of camera equipment, there's also a lot of other things that I will always take with me when I'm walking on the Southern Upland Way. I've come out with my family today for a walk and to have a chat about the things we bring with us when we go walking. Before we even look in the bag, it's worth thinking about what you wear whilst you're walking. And probably the most important thing here is your boots. The Southern Upland Way goes through large areas of blanket bog. This is where the rainfall is so high that peat starts to form even on the tops of the hills. It gives the Southern Uplands their characteristic rounded look. Now, we do our very best to keep the path dry by putting in drainage and building boardwalks, but in the middle of winter, after high rainfall, you're always going to get areas of deep mud and puddles. So you do need to have very good waterproof boots. It's also worth thinking about taking gaiters. These are waterproof coverings that go over the top of your boots and stop water from getting in. The rest of what you wear, it's all about keeping warm and dry. My recommendation would be to avoid cotton at all costs. It soaks up water and doesn't dry out easily, so you can end up very cold. Some cotton, like denim, will even shrink when it gets wet, making it really uncomfortable to walk in. The key to keeping warm is layers. You need to start with a base layer of a wicking material. This will draw moisture away from the skin and keep you dry. On top of that, you need several layers of thermal clothes, either technical thermals or nice woolly jumpers. Having several layers will trap air in between them, which is really good insulation. It also means that if you get too hot, you can take one of them off without getting too cold. If you've got just one big warm jacket, you either have to leave it on and be too hot, or take it off and be too cold. You also should have a think about a nice warm hat, warm gloves, a scarf, and nice thick socks. You do not want to get cold feet. On top of these thermal layers, you want to have either a windproof jacket, or if it's raining, a full waterproof jacket. And waterproof trousers are just as important as the jacket. It's also worth having a think about the colour of your clothes. Having something bright yellow or red will make you much more visible, and it will make you much easier to see. If you are stuck on the side of a hill and the mountain rescue is searching for you, they'll find it a lot easier if you're wearing bright coloured clothes than if you're wearing something dark green or black. It's even worth thinking about taking something high-vis, a high-vis jacket, just for that emergency situation to make you more visible. I always carry not one but two mobile phones, and it's vital to always carry a phone with you to get in touch with people in case of an emergency. But equally, you should never rely on them. They need mobile phone signal, they need charged batteries, and not all of them are waterproof, so you can't always be certain that they're going to work. You should therefore always leave details of where you're going and what time you're going to be back with somebody else before you leave. Ideally, you should also leave details of your route. In exactly the same way, you should never rely on a GPS for navigation. I use mine all the time, but it needs signal and it needs battery. So you should always have a map and a compass with you and know how to use them. I'm going to do a video on navigating with a map and compass in the near future, so make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss that one. bag is mostly safety equipment. Things like a whistle, which is very useful for letting people know where you are in an emergency. A torch should always be carried, and it's important to make sure that you've checked the batteries. You should always have a first aid kit with you as well, although it's very important to know how to use it. So it's worth thinking about doing a first aid course as well. I also always carry either a survival bag or a survival shelter. A survival bag is just a simple plastic bag, but it's amazing how much warmer you are when you're inside it than just out in the open. A survival shelter can be any size. I've got one for up to 10 people that we're going to get out and have a go to show you how it works. So, all we need to do is to take the whole of the bag out, and everybody needs to find a bit of the edge. So can you find a bit of the edge? Yeah? Right, and all we're going to do is we just need to slowly and carefully lift it up over our heads, take a step forward, bring it down behind our back, and then sit on the bit that we're holding. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like a tent.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Right, Mist, can you come in the middle?
Oh, Miss. Not convinced.
She's not. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Come on, Mist. So here we are inside the Bothy bag shelter, and as you can see, because this one is an 8-person shelter and there's only 3 of us, we've got loads of room inside here. It warms up incredibly quickly. It's really cosy place. It's not going to be a great place to spend more than an hour or so, but in an emergency, if you need somewhere to find some shelter, it's fantastic. What do you think, guys?
It's actually much warmer than I thought it was going to be. You can already feel it warming up.
It's amazing how quickly it warms up, isn't it?
I had to take my hat off, it's so warm.
You should always take something to eat out with you, even if you're only going out for a couple of hours. If you get caught out, if you get lost or somebody gets hurt, then it could be the difference between staying nice and warm and getting so cold that you put your life in danger. It's always worth taking a bit more food than you think you're going to need, and for an emergency you should always carry some high energy emergency rations, something like dextrose tablets or candle mint cake, or because we're in Scotland, tablet, which has the advantage of not only being high energy, it also tastes fantastic. You should also take some water, or at least something to drink. And in cold weather like this, it's worth taking a thermos with a nice hot drink. So, what have I got in my bag with me today? First off is my camera equipment. It's what I'm here to do today, so it's right on the top. First aid kit, gloves and a spare hat, and my map and compass. I've then got my waterproof trousers because I'm not actually wearing them at the moment, and I've got a spare thermal in case I get cold. This is my survival bag, and here is the bivvy bag, the shelter. Then if I look in the side pockets, I've got a thermos flask with a hot drink in it, torch and a whistle, and in the other side is my food. I've got a bottle of water and then lots and lots of food. That's just my emergency rations. I've already had lunch today. And then in the top pocket, I've just got a bin bag for taking away rubbish and some dog poo bags because we've got our dog with us today. So that's what I carry with me when I'm out on the Southern Upland Way. Is there anything that you normally take with you that I haven't included? If so, let me know in the comments below. In this video, I've just talked about what I would take with me when doing a day walk on the Southern Upland Way in the winter. I'll do another video about equipment to take with you in the summer, but to be honest, it's not that different. And in Dumfries and Galloway, we often get cold wintry weather right up until April. I've also not spoken about taking tents or cooking equipment or things that you would need when staying out overnight. Again, I'll do another video about those. At this time of year, you do need to make sure you've got the right equipment with you to keep yourself safe. But the landscape really is incredibly beautiful with the frost and snow on the tops of the hills, so it is definitely worth coming out for an adventure on the Southern Upland Way in the winter.
If you enjoyed this video, click the like button, and if you want to see more Southern Upland Way videos, subscribe to our channel.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Becky and Connor for coming along today and helping me to film this.